So I can cut that off. Okay, and I can cut off the other end, right there. And it looks sort of like a mystery knot, but you can't really figure out how I tied it. Hey, it's Greg here with Outdoors on the Jeep, and today I'm going to show you how to tie a knot that's good for wrapping around handles of things, whether that's some sort of tool you use. It can be the part of an axe handle that's just below the head, especially for a splitting axe where sometimes you miss and you whack that part of the wood and you want to protect it. But just anything you want to increase the grip of that thing. In this case here, I've got a walking stick. It's when you're wearing wool gloves or wool mittens, it's kind of slippery. And with a walking stick, you want a good grip. So I find just wrapping some rope around it helps you maintain your grip and less likely to fall down and that sort of stuff. But basically any situation where you need to wrap, you have some sort of handle of some kind, you want to wrap rope around it and you want it to stay put. So it's a particular kind of knot. It's really not hard to tie, but more reliable than most other ways to do it. This isn't paracord, but it's like paracord. Okay, so I'm going to put a wrap on this that's about 2 inches long. For a lot of handle types, I like that because it's the distance between here and here on my hand. So when I put my hand on it, I'll show you when this is all together, but when I put my hand around it, I've got a finger on, basically have a finger on either side of the wrap. So it really helps your hand maintain its position, whether that's some sort of, swinging tool or whatever. All right, so all you got to do, and I got to do, this is an easy knot, thank goodness, because it's like, I don't know, -8 or 9 or something like that today, and I can only work with my hands bare like this for so long. But you make a loop, okay? You make a loop in the line, okay? And you hold it down with your thumb. So I've got the tag end here, right? And I'm holding it down with my thumb. This is where I want the knot to start. So you go over it and around. You go around a couple times, do a couple wraps, and then you tighten it a bit. Tightening both on the working end, but also on the tag end. You pull that, not this here part that moves, but the other part that's going towards the wrap. All right, then you do a couple more. All right. Then tighten. And you're also pushing the wrap together to make sure it's good and tight. Do a couple more, then tighten. Pull on the knot. Again, not on their loose part, but this the other side, to tighten it at the top. Okay, now I think the top is tight enough. Really can't get it much tighter. Now I'm just continuing. Every about 2 or 3 wraps, I give it a little, I give it a little pull. Hold it with my thumb. Push the whole thing together so it's nice and tight. You don't want any spaces in between the wraps. Okay. Sometimes it's handy to push it together with a stick, especially if you're using really fine rope. Sometimes you have to, use a stick of some kind to sort of push it all together. All right, so I get a few more wraps in here. Okay, that's about as many as I can get. I'm going to go back one here. All right, so now, see, I just notice I'm holding this down with my thumb, so I'm maintaining tension the whole time. All right, now I take that and I put it through the loop at this end. Okay, hold it with my thumb again. Don't let go. Now this end here, I pull on it. If you're having a hard time pulling on it, it's good to have a pair of pliers or something like that. And the longer you can leave this when you start the knot, the better. It really depends on how much rope you have, because you can, wrap it around your finger or wrap it around a stick so you can get a purchase on it. Anyway, I'm able to pull this here. So just pull it till it's snug here. Okay, then give this a really good tug so it's tight. Now I've held it down with my thumb again. Now you start really pulling here, and what you're trying to do is pop this knot in under the wraps. Okay, and not every kind of rope will do this. Some ropes are more willing to let you do it than others. So let's see if I can do it just holding it in front of me. It's not the most powerful purchase. I can't get enough onto it. Okay, I need to put it down like this. For this sort of operation, the lower you have it, the more strength you have. Okay, again, I'm trying to pop this up in there. So I get it wrapped around my fingers a couple times. And maybe I'll jam it into the stump here. That's a good spot. All right. If you have this in a vise, it's even better. All right, let's wrap around the stick here. Some ropes are just more willing to let you do this than others. That's all there is to it. My goodness, that does not want to go. All right, so it's not always this difficult, but today, for whatever reason, this does not want to go. So you need something that allows you to get both hands into the equation and use, all the power that's in your body. So I've got this butted up against this stump and trapped underneath that tree, and now I can use pretty much my entire body strength, work that knot up underneath that wrap, and that's where you want it. So you see now the knot is up underneath the wrap, right? And the further up there you can get it, the better, because it's less likely to come loose or give up. Here we go. You're gonna trap down on the ground there. That's good. That's good. That's not going nowheres. All right. Once more. Good wrap. There. All right. So I really got that in there now. So now the knot is right here. Okay. Let me change the camera a little bit. Okay, so now from pulling on this end, and it's not always this difficult, just today. I mean, it's almost good in a way because it wouldn't cooperate, and I pretty much had to use, and to max out. I had to put like maybe 150 pounds worth of pressure onto this. It's not always needed. And it really depends, the more tight you have this whole thing wrapped, the harder you have to pull to suck that knot up in. But now you can see there's just string coming out here because I pulled the bend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wraps in. So now that bend is right there. Right, so I can cut off this end. This is where I pulled it up in. So I can cut that off. Okay, and I can cut off the other end. Right there. And it looks sort of like a mystery knot, where you can't really figure out how I tied it. Right? So this is handy if you have like a high visibility rope for something you don't want to lose as well too. I've got this painted red, so it's not as necessary here. Okay, and now I've got this great, really tight wrap on here. And this is just some old rope that's it's getting a bit sort of unreliable. This is a rope I was using for tying things down on my car, but I've had it for like 10 years, so it's sort of time to retire it. But it's perfectly fine for things like this. And it's a good use for old rope. Now, as I was saying, the way this fits in terms of my grip, right? So I can put my hand here, and when I squeeze on it, these two fingers are outside of it, and these two fingers are around it. So my hand just will not, because it's sort of anchored by the pinky, anchored by the forefinger. So the hand won't, just aside from just squeezing on this, which is good grip, but the fact that I've got a finger on either side against the wood, it just will not give up, and you'd be surprised how comfortable it feels like that. So my thumb and forefinger are around the actual diameter of the wood, but I've got this great sort of grip inside my palm. And a lot of knife handles, you see, they have a sort of oval type shape, and this is an oval, but basically it's thicker in the middle than it is on the ends, because you have a good grip like that. So now when I've got my wool glove on days like today when it's cold, right? Instead of the gloves sliding around on this walking stick and going down when I really need, if I was going over some rocks or something like that and I needed to bear some weight on it, I don't want to have to squeeze hard and slip down, right? And if you're squeezing hard all the time, you also get fatigue in your arm. This way, it's basically got really good grip on it. And I've got this nice little wrap. And people will look at it and try to, how did you do that, right? So it's really tight. I can feel the tightness in it, right? So I don't exactly know what the name of this knot is. I'll put it up on the screen. I've been using this knot for so long. I learned this years ago from a book on knots, and I've always used it. It's one of the few knots I remember from that book. The book had like 200 knots on it, and I probably used 10 of them. And I probably used 5 of them 10 times more often than the other 5 that are part of that 10 I remember. Anyway, this is one of the more useful ones for things like this. Okay, a wrapping knot. So yeah, give it a try, practice it a little bit. Once you've done it a couple times, you get the hang of it. It's pretty darn easy to do, and a great way to make any tool you use maybe a little bit more safe, lengthen the life of something, or just make something more reliable. Anyway, just one more knot to add to your toolkit of knots. Really handy for handles, binding things together, making things more safe, making things last longer. Good use for older rope that's sort of lost its reliability, but still good for something like this. Increases your grip, reduces fatigue. Great little thing to know how to do. So give it a try, give it a practice. Once you've done it about 3 or 4 times, it's locked in there and you've got it for when you need it. So hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Until next time, enjoy the outdoors on the cheap. Thanks for watching.